We're back with the Screen Team on today's Talk 930 KWOC. Remember, you can check out the Screen Team on our official website, screenteenpb.com. Want to thank our sponsors, Whitworth Gift Chest Jewelers, where Walmart is next door to us, also Poplar Bluff Drywall, and Fearless Social. The next film is Stacy's Pick in this series with Doug and Stacey Anderson. Stacey, you have picked Ocean's 11, but you've decided to stay away from the George Clooney film and go old school with the 1960 version. Why did you want to go old school?
Well, I like old school movies, first of all.
Yeah.
You can never go wrong with the Rat Pack. And it's the same concept of the new one that, we've probably all seen. Mm-hmm. But the story's tweaked just a little bit. I mean, it is 1960, so.
But it has a very cool vibe to it.
Oh, yeah. You got Dino playing the piano, singing Ain't It a Kick in the Head.
Almost a musical type.
Yeah.
Without all of the frilly dancing
it's
and stuff.
Just the music in the background. I mean, it's Vegas. It's 1960. It's like the heyday. In real life, the guys were doing shows there, so they were having to shoot during the day, when they weren't doing their performance.
They were doing double duty.
Yeah, so I don't know. I like that one. I like it. But I did have a hard time. If you watch this movie, do not go in there and say, oh, well, that's the George Clooney character. That's the Brad Pitt character. That's the this character. You're going to figure out who the George Clooney character is. You're going to figure out who the Julia Roberts character is. The guy that is kind of leading it all up, and I can't think of his name in the new movie. What's the
Don Cheadle?
No.
Elliot Gould?
Yeah, Elliot Gould, yeah. Like, I figured out, who his part is. That's about where it stopped. The rest of them, I'm kind of like, well, I kind of think Sammy Davis Jr. probably played this part.
Don Cheadle's part.
But, it has a pretty good twist at the end of it. And
a lot different from the George Clooney one.
Yeah. But it's just a great movie. I mean, it's Technicolor. I love Technicolor.
Technicolor, that was like the thing back then.
Yeah,
in Technicolor.
Right.
And even when Doug was watching, he was like, "Look how dressed up people got to go out.
Mm-hmm.
They
sure
dressed to the nines just to go to the grocery store." Or
I like the fact that when you walk in a place like that, there's an actual band with real actual instruments playing music and not some jerk over there spinning records.
Yeah.
You mean a DJ?
Yeah. You're not going to find Scott Disick in this Las Vegas, I'm telling you.
It's funny. Doug had mentioned a lot of controversy in our last film we reviewed, Fast Times. This one had a few parts in it where I was it raised an eyebrow. There was a scene early on where you see Frank Sinatra talking with one of the other members of the film. There's two girls in the room, and they're calling them dames and stuff like that, and smacking them in the butt to get out of the room and stuff like that. And there's another scene later on in the movie where you've got Sammy Davis Jr. driving a garbage truck, and the other guys are in there. They're all white, and they're putting on blackface. To pull off a job or whatever, and you're just kind of like.
Or what about the part where they're talking about who's going to run for president? And they're like, we're going to oppress women and make them slaves. And they're like, one of them's like, well, how do you think that's going to save us money? And he's like, it's going to save us a lot of money. That's what I'm going to do when I'm president. And I'm like,
mention the fact that everybody in the movie was smoking. It was a nonchalant guys walking around with ushers with ashtrays.
Yeah.
There's one scene, I forgot the actor's name. He's staring off there at his guys while they're doing their thing, and he's holding the ashtray bucket and dumps the bucket, and you clearly see ashes go in.
Yeah,
it's like there's no way that would go on today.
Just a totally different time.
It is. It
even for
totally
Vegas
was.
standards, it was a little sketchy. But you had was it Red Skelton played himself in it? They cut him off at the cash window. He was trying to get more money, and they were like, we don't care who you are, we're cutting you off, and it just, I don't know, everything just looks so clean and fresh, and it was really, I don't know, I just really like those movies.
I know this is a kind of off the subject, but like the mafia movies and stuff like Casino, to tells you that there's a level of respect in the casinos back then. Like, the players knew not to cross that certain line or there's going to be repercussions. I kind of could see some of that in this movie. Kind of deep, cemented deep in it because it was casino, or a casino in the 60s. People had a little bit more respect in the way they carried themselves just as everyday people. Like I said, they dressed up to go into this place. You're not just going to walk in a casino and dress, T-shirt and jeans. No.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to throw you out on the street. You can come back in here, in a 3-piece suit and we'll talk.
It's not like that anymore. When we went to Vegas, there was, moms and dads and kids all going into the hotels and stuff like that.
Like Disneyland.
And, yeah, it's kind of like it's like almost like an adult Disneyland.
Back then, it wasn't that way.
Yeah.
People are, and they're not. You're not walking around drinking a beer. Oh no, you're going to drink a dry martini or some champagne. I mean,
and something else I noticed about this movie, there was very little colorful language.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They just didn't.
They were too busy being sexist and bigots and
right.
racist.
That's right. Let's save it all up for that,
Save it for the dames.
And you had Angie Dickinson was in there.
Yeah.
She's classic, and I love it when the girl calls her and she's like, you just keep calling and wasting your money. I don't care.
Yeah. She had a certain amount of cool to her too. She wasn't a typical dame,
Yeah.
Speaking of typical dames, we had Shirley MacLaine. She had a cameo in this film,
and that was hilarious. And I was like, look how young she was.
Yeah.
She was so young and not crazy.
I was pointing it out to her last time we were watching this. I was like, I know her. And I said, you know her too. Steel Magnolias. I said, she's crazy. Shirley MacLaine.
And I was looking at her, I'm like, it sure is. Look who that is. So there was, it had Cesar Romero.
Yes,
was
it
in
did.
it. He played a cool character in there. And
that scene when he meets Shirley MacLaine outside, he just kind of throws a lip lock on her.
Mm-hmm.
That's another controversial thing. Today's standards, that's rape.
Yeah.
It's
going a little too far.
Sexual
assault. Yeah.
He took advantage of a woman who was under the influence.
That's right.
But he did what he had to do.
But he's Dean Martin for crying out loud.
He's Dean Martin. But this movie, the plot, the whole main thing. They're the 82nd Airborne guys, and they get back together to pull off this job, which is how it is kind of in the new movie. They all get back together and they have to pull off a job, and it's just full of good music and the Rat Pack. I mean, if you don't like the Rat Pack, we can't be friends.
It's just a cool style.
That's the way I feel.
It's a cool style. It's a cool movie. It's called Ocean's 11. You can find it on DVD. We've got Doug and Stacy coming back to review Maze Runner: The Scorch Trials. It's brand new to theaters, and we'll get to that next on Today's Talk 930 KWOC.